Okay.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of BuiBros Football Podcast. Today is a fun one. We're very excited. I'm one of your hosts, Quinn Bowie, and I cheer for the LA Chargers. And across from me, my brother Brandon.
That's me. I cheer for the Minnesota Vikings. And on today's episode, we're going to be doing a little quarterback and wide receiver Mount Rushmore of current players.
Yes.
Current players that are playing right now. AFC, we're going to choose 4 quarterbacks. NFC, we're going to choose 4 quarterbacks. And then 4 wide receivers on either side as well. And then afterward, we will try to come to a consensus on who would be a league-wide, the 4 quarterbacks and wide receivers league-wide that should be the faces of Mount Rushmore.
The NFL Mount Rushmore.
The NFL Mount Rushmore, that's right. And I think it'll be good. I've been thinking about it, and I have some controversial thoughts.
I love controversy because usually you're wrong in the controversy. So I cannot wait to see who you've got in the NFC. I have the AFC, and I'm going to begin because I said so.
Well, should you do maybe 1 quarterback, then I'll do 1 quarterback? Or are you doing your whole thing and then I'm doing my whole thing?
We're going to do the AFC first. We're going to debate. We're going to the NFC after that. We're going to debate. And then we're going to go NFL. And there will be no debate because we're working on that together.
Okay.
AFC QBs first.
Wait. We have new technology. We have
new technology.
Everybody take a look. Watch this fade. Ready? Oh, look at that.
The evolution of the BuiBros Football Podcast.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
This is what really tech-savvy people look like. You know, you're looking at two of them.
Here. Pretty much say, like, this is pretty tech-savvy there. Whoa. Right.
My screen is moving. Okay.
Boom. Yeah, I'm just doing that.
Okay.
Anyway, AFC. Let's get going here. Let's get going. So, QBs, Mount Rushmore, no particular order. So just because I'm saying this guy first does not mean that I think he's the best QB in the AFC or the NFL. Other people might think that he's the best QB in the AFC and the NFL.
Yes.
But no controversy, okay? No controversy. Right. So let's just put him in there. Patrick Mahomes is one of the Mount Rushmore quarterbacks of today. He is 3 of the past 4 Super Bowl winner. He is multi-NFL MVP. He's done it with Tyreek. He's done it without Tyreek. He's done it with young Travis Kelce. He's done it with Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce. He is working himself already to one of the top quarterbacks to ever play this game, and he does incredible things on a week-to-week basis, and I highly dislike having him in the AFC West with the Chargers. I'll put it as highly disliked because don't teach the H word in my household, all right?
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Family-friendly, exactly. Number 2 on the... Oh, no, sorry, not number 2. But another quarterback on the Mount Rushmore QBs of the AFC in today's NFL, Josh Allen. We are about to see if Josh Allen can do what Patrick Mahomes has done. And that is quarterback his team to a postseason berth without a strong supporting cast, especially in that wide receiver department. Yes, he's got James Cook at the running back position leading the way. But his wide receivers, got a rookie going on. He's got Khalil Shakir coming second year.
I think today they signed MVS.
Right. Yes.
Who's a bum
deal.
Though?
Yeah.
Who's a bum?
MVS. I don't know if he can do it, but Josh Allen has been an incredible asset to the Buffalo Bills over the past 6-7 years now, and I don't see that stopping now. You know, they've still got Sean McDermott coaching. They're still going to have a formidable defense because of him. Even though they lost a lot of pieces there too, so it might be on Josh Allen's shoulders entirely. So let's see what happens this year. It'll be quite exciting to watch the Buffalo Bills. Lamar Jackson is the next quarterback on the AFC Mount Rushmore of today's NFL. He is two-time MVP winner, Lamar Jackson. He is on a very well-coached team in the Baltimore Ravens with the other Harbaugh brother. They've got a fantastic defense supporting him, and one of the greatest rushing games in football over the last 5+ years. They've been fantastic, and now they get King Henry to take off some of the load. That QB option is going to be deadly. And I know King Henry is a little bit older, and he has lost a lot of tread on his tires, but he hasn't had the support system that Baltimore's had, the offensive line that Baltimore has. That's going to be scary stuff, and they've got a chip on their shoulder after last year and losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it was 17-10 to make, to go on, and they lost at home. They're going to play tough, and Lamar Jackson's going to lead the way after his last MVP season. Now, here are where things get spicy, probably for most people who are fans of the NFL.
Incoming Homer take.
I gotta have the Homer pick. And I'm gonna even say it like this, okay? Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow. All right, over Joe Burrow. Like oft-injured Joe Burrow. Yeah, he made it to the Super Bowl, and he's been to the AFC title game several times in his young NFL career. But he's also got the craziest support system ever. Yes, Joe Mixon went away, but they picked up.
They've had a horrible O-line, though.
They've had a bad O-line, absolutely.
I wonder how many games do you think he's missed? How many games? Like, what's the difference in games missed between the two of them?
So what? They played 4 years. The difference in games missed. That's probably an interesting stat to look up. Definitely more for Joe Burrow. I would say he's missed at least 12 to 15 games.
But Herbert's missed a few, though. No.
Herbert has missed a few for sure, but less. Okay. Less. Okay, Brandon. Less.
Justin Herbert
often injured Joe Burrow with the stacked cast. On offense, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, both candidates that I've considered for today's Mount Rushmore for the wide receiver position, which we will talk about shortly.
Higgins,
Justin Herbert, absolutely. You got to put respect on his name, but Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow. Now he's got QB whisperer in Harbaugh. We trust. Building that mean line to protect him, that solid rushing game to assist him, and a formidable defense as well to get him the ball back. We're about to see Justin Herbert's best years ahead of us. And there we have it, the Mount Rushmore of QBs in the AFC: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow. Oh, no. Brandon, why don't you take us through the NFC QBs and let's see what's going on. Let's see how they compare to the AFCs. Break it down.
They really don't compare. I'm thinking.
I know. I was just kidding. They don't compare, but I needed to, just to put them out there. The NFC quarterbacks.
I'm thinking dog, and I kind of want to change one of mine.
Hey, it's your list. Let's go.
Let me start off the list by showing you how garbage this list is. Okay. I'm typing them out. You copy paste it. I'm typing. We are going with, now again, no particular order, right? We know this is no particular order. We have on my NFC of current players. Shoot. I don't know if I got to do it. I got to stick with my list. Controversy. We have Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray is.
Dude, that's how gross this list is. I know,
Whoa.
I know,
Mount
I
Rushmore
know.
NFC quarterbacks. Kyler Murray, video game playing Kyler Murray,
Dude,
dude.
okay, first off, I like Carlin. I like him. I like his style. I think he's good at it. I think he, isn't as good as Lamar, but I think he has flashes of Lamar when also
He's mini Russell Wilson. That's my comp to him. Like the way he runs and just scurries along.
But that's
it's-
that's not an insult though.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson
no,
was a
it's
great
not.
quarterback when he was this age.
When he was that agile.
Exactly. I like Kyler. I think, and when they started like 9-0 or something like that, then they ended up losing to the Packers, and I was so mad because it was some stupid play. AJ Green just stopped. Did you remember that? AJ Green just didn't turn.
That. Yeah, right. He didn't.
And
turn
then I
around.
think maybe it was Jair Alexander that got an interception in the end zone just to end. And I was like, how did we lose to this team? Like, how is it that we always get effed over because the Packers just get some stupid lucky. Oh, anyways. Oh, man, that's so frustrating. Anyways, that season.
Okay, Kyler Murray.
They were crushing.
That's the first mention, too. That's crazy.
Dude, I'm only putting him first just to show you this list is
I cannot wait for the next three.
Well, who did I leave out? Right? That's the question here. And I'm thinking about my wide receiver one as well. That one's pretty bad, too. Ah, damn, it's tough. It's tough. Okay, here. It's tough. Okay, here, less controversial. We have Jalen Hurts. Okay.
All right.
That is less controversial. I like Jalen Hurts as a person, as a player. He seems like a very stand-up guy, very hard worker. Seems like somebody that I would like as a quarterback for my team, just with his leadership and everything that he brings to the table. So I think it's possible that he is currently the best quarterback in the NFC. Kind of an off year last year, but outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl a year prior.
Yep.
Other than his silly fumble, which is, in my opinion, cost them the entire game, cost them a Super Bowl, but he more than made up for it in other ways. Just couldn't come through with the win. Anyways, Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's a stud. I think that he definitely deserves to be on this list. Next.
Boom.
Okay. We'll go controversial again for my third one.
Look at this controversial sandwich.
Yes. We have my boy, not Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins. That's who we have. I truly believe last year he could have been mentioned if he was not injured. He could have been mentioned, which he was in early MVP talks. But if he kept up his play, he easily could have been in the running, or at least mentioned to be in the running for MVP last year.
Right.
But the reality is that he did get hurt, so he does not deserve to be there. He was playing as well as any other quarterback in the league last year, and maybe that's, comfort in the system that he was in for more than 1 year, because every year that he was with us, we had a new offensive system for him. It's hard, to get into a good rhythm in just one season. Maybe it's because he had the best wide receiver in the league. Could be a lot of things.
Maybe.
But I believe that he's a hard worker. I believe he's dedicated. I believe he's a good leader. And I believe he has the skill and the mindset to perform really, really, really well. And I will also mention that I would not put Kirk Cousins anywhere near the top of the AFC list if he was traded to that
Yes, and we'll
conference.
get to that in a moment. But
so,
hey, I'm
as
gonna
much
say
as
it's
I'm
not
praising,
that controversial.
as much as I'm praising, I do understand where he stands overall. But I think for the NFC, it's a little weak in the quarterback position. Anyways, there you go. Okay, last one. A little less controversial. We have I'm just kidding. We have Dak Prescott. Okay.
Dak Prescott.
I
Oh
think
man,
Dak.
this is more controversial than your Kirk pick.
I don't know, man. Some might say that one's the white or black version of the other. Anyways, but Dak, I think is. I think he's. I don't think he's the reason that they lose as often as they do. I don't think he's the reason that they don't win the big game. You know, and I felt this way about Kirk a lot of the time as well. Um, Dallas's defense against Green Bay last year in the playoffs was the reason that they lost. Sure, their offense wasn't crushing it, but they picked it up at certain points. They ended up still scoring like 30 points or some shit like that, and they lost the game. It was a little too, too little, too late.
Too little, too late.
But
Yep.
maybe it's garbage time stuff. Maybe but like I watched that game sitting in some diner in Mexico, and I was so upset. And I was like, how the hell did this happen?
Yes, that
And-
was wild.
But I don't believe that it's Dak. I don't think that Dak was the reason that they lost.
Yep.
He definitely didn't carry them on his shoulders and bring them to a victory. But I think that he is definitely a top 4 quarterback in the NFC currently. I look to be proven
Yes.
right this year. I think that he's proven it in years past, and I think he will continue to do that this year.
I have to say that if we look at this list for your NFC, this is now the controversial sandwich. Topped with Kyler Murray and bottomed with Dak Prescott.
Okay, so
I agree with you. Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins are in the Mount Rushmore for the NFC quarterbacks. I do agree with you. The other two, no way. How did you leave
Stafford.
out Matthew Stafford?
yeah, Stafford was the one. I know. Okay, here's the thing: is that when I was thinking about it. Yes, Stafford has accomplished more, which maybe that is what deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore list. Maybe it
Right.
is like who's accomplished more, who's had a better career out of current players. Maybe that's what it is. And then in that case, maybe I would put Matt Stafford, but on your list, I don't see no Aaron Rodgers, who's had a great career. I don't see no Russell Wilson, who's had a great career, right? So I think that we were choosing more so.
This is 2020. Like this is now.
Exactly. Right. So we're not talking about career wise. We're talking
Yes.
about this coming year, pretty much is what we're talking about. Who will be the best quarterbacks? And I don't
Yes,
think
and
Stafford.
I still think Stafford.
don't think it's
over
Stafford.
Kyler Murray, absolutely.
Kyler Murray
and you
is
know
just-
what?
he's
You know
there.
what? I think you have bias because the NFC North. There's 2 quarterbacks that I was considering in the NFC North that one of them I for sure would take over Dak or Kyler Murray, and that's newly highest paid on an average annual basis. Jared Goff.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
crushed it over there in Detroit. Hey, this is your list. Absolutely. This is me debating because you said controversial, and
It
absolutely
is.
there's controversy in there. Kyler Murray over Jared Goff. Kyler Murray over Matthew Stafford.
I think that Kyler Murray will be the best quarterback in the NFC West next year. I think that Kyler Murray, I think that he started to build a good rapport with the players last year, but he started midway through the season. He started like week 9 or some shit. Like you can't build, you can't get into a good groove when you start so late in the season. Like the early parts of the season is where people flesh things out. And then
Right.
your team kind of will then become a cohesive unit. And so he had to get pushed in there, and it was just uncomfortable.
Well, hopefully that continues on to this year. It's got the familiarity,
Yes.
some pieces coming back, and now you've got Marvin Harrison Jr. out there.
Exactly.
You've got no reason. They drafted one of I think Trey Benson, I believe is who they drafted, one of the top running backs out of this year's class to pair with James Conner. No excuses. And then who is their tight end that just came onto the
Trey
scene?
McBride.
Trey McBride. What? Like
Him and
you've
Kyler,
got
they got it
no
going on, man.
excuses.
They got
Yeah,
it
and
going
they
on.
drafted a high up offensive lineman last year in the first round.
I think he's the
Um,
one, man. I think that this is his big year. I think this is his
all
big year.
right. Well, we're gonna revisit this,
Hell
midway
yeah.
season,
Hell yeah.
and we're gonna end of the season see how crazy this list is. Both, who knows? AFC maybe crazy too. Let's see
Yeah.
what actually unfolds.
Yeah.
That's what's so exciting. Any given Sunday, baby. Any
Yeah.
given Sunday.
To me, like
Can't come
Kyler
soon enough.
is controversial in the way of like mainstream media, mainstream
Hey, we're
talking
not
points.
mainstream though,
No,
Brandon.
no, for
We're not
sure.
mainstream. All right,
That,
we've got the legit views.
but
Okay.
for me, in my list, the most controversial pick is that's a drum roll. Kirk Cousins. I love the guy. I think he's awesome, but he
Yep.
is coming off an Achilles tear. How good is he gonna be? Ooh, we don't really know, right? So I think that is the true, like Kyler Murray. Yeah, I started with the controversy, this, that. I don't think at the end of this year that'll be like a controversial opinion, but I do think
Right.
Kirk has the most variance. He has the most, uncertainty around him. But
For sure. New system, new weapons, new pieces. I'm excited to see what happens with Kirk. Okay. So these are gonna be the quarterbacks in the round Rushmore running for the NFL. Stay tuned. If you like what you're listening, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really does help the channel out. Thumbs up, hit the like, notification bell, and you'll be able to continue having the conversation with the BuiBros Football Podcast each and every week. Let's move on to the Mount Rushmore of wide receivers, AFC and NFC. Brandon, why don't you start with the NFC this time? Let's switch it up.
let's
Who
do
who
it.
do you have in the Mount Rushmore for wide receivers in today's NFL?
Okay. There will be no controversy in this first pick. We got Justin Jefferson. Okay. I'm not going
All
to
right.
slander this guy's name and put him anywhere but the top, even though this isn't, a
Right,
1
there's
to
no
4
rankings,
list.
no
There's no
rankings.
rankings other than the fact that this guy is definitely number one. But there's no rankings. Okay. We've talked about this guy quite a bit. It's fairly obvious to me that he is the best wide receiver in the league. So that means he's the best in the NFC. No controversy here. We will move on to number 2. Sorry, the second face on this mountain is CD Lamb. Okay.
Okay, CeeDee Lamb, great
CeeDee Lamb.
year.
What did I do here? CeeDee
Okay.
Lamb. Yeah, I got a center. Anyways, is clearly one of the best. He was almost the receiving leader last year in
Right.
tight competition with Tyreek. He's possibly the second best wide receiver in the league. I don't think that many people would fight you on that. The lowest I would put him would be 4, and I don't even know who 3 would be.
Yeah, this is tough for wide receiver. It is absolutely tough. The NFC is looking stacked right now.
Yeah, so I had to leave some people off my list. We'll get to that. But we're gonna go with. I'm just gonna shorthand it here because I'm not typing out this whole name. We're going in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay,
The Sun God.
the Sun God. I think this is also not very controversial. Like, people might debate something like this solely to the fact that there are other great wide receivers, not that he isn't a great wide receiver.
Right.
This guy's awesome. Signed a great contract, put himself in a position to get paid again at the end of his 4-year contract because I see him doing this for a decent amount of time, having a longer career. He's kind of like, he's not this like huge, big, crazy physical guy that's going to get worn down too much. He's very stealthy, sneaky. He's very
Right.
He's very safe with the ball. But even in saying that, the guy is just a stud. He's all over the field. He's scoring when he shouldn't be scoring. He's doing everything that he needs to do. I think that this guy, I think it's very unfortunate that he's in our division because playing this guy twice a year is rough. Sorry?
I do see a lot of some similarities, at least with him and JJ's game. You know, they do a lot of that intermediate work where they get open in the middle of the field, and like a lot of those medium drags like they always get open in the middle of the field, and they take it, you know, for a 15-20 yard catch often.
They're great route runners. And
count on them for at least 2 of those a game.
Yeah. But I think he's a great receiver. I definitely respect him and his game and, you know, what he's done in his career. So very excited for him. Very excited to stop talking about him, though, because this guy is going to be tormenting the Vikings for a while. Okay, last pick. So I can only choose 4. I had to leave some people off this list.
Oh,
this
goodness.
one here
Who are you going to put?
Is possibly controversial due to age, but we're going with, again, I can't center this right now, but we're going with Cooper Kupp. Okay?
Okay, interesting.
It is interesting, you know. People might even have a guy on his team as a better wide receiver in Puka Nacua. People might rank him higher. You know, I don't know if I'm choosing Cooper Kupp in fantasy again. I think last
Remember,
year,
this is for 2024. Like, this is going forward. You think that Cooper Kupp is still better than Puka Nacua?
I think that he had trouble with his knee and he didn't get fully healed. I think this guy's unreal still. There were probably safer choices for this pick, but I'm not here for safe choices. I'm not here to say, you know, say what everybody else is saying and make it super mind-numbing. You know,
this is your list.
This is
This is your NFC list.
I looked at the players. I saw this guy, and I said, "Hell yeah,
hell yeah!" His face is carved on my mountain.
Exactly.
Yes.
But let's look at who I left out. Okay, people might like we said, Puka Nacua. People might like DJ Moore.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen's also there.
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. I'm looking also at
for the NFC, the guy
Mike Evans. Right?
Mike Evans, the guy that I left out. I think the big one is your good old average Joe Brown.
AJ Brown. I would agree. Like,
he's the one I left out. Tough. He's the one that I left out. But I'm not the biggest fan of him. I don't know why.
Yeah, when I look at your list, it's probably Cooper Kupp for me. Me thinking about this year going forward, age, injury history. Yes, he's been absolutely amazing, and his connection with the aforementioned Matthew Stafford is unreal. But now he will be working and competing for targets in that offense because of Puka Nacua's just absolutely meteoric rise into the NFL, breaking rookie wide receiver records that Justin Jefferson had posted. AJ Brown or Mike Evans I think that would have been my change.
I thought about
one
Mike
of those
Evans.
2 instead of Cooper Kupp. Mike Evans, yes, he's got the age thing as well, but he has been the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL. What is it, 11 years that he's been, and he's done 11 straight 1,000 yards?
Has he ever been the best, though? Cooper Kupp has been the best.
Cooper Kupp has been the best. Yes, but we can't say that Amon-Ra St. Brown has been the best.
No, but he has potential to be the best still moving forward, where Mike Evans does not. Right? Mike Evans doesn't have a chance to be the best wide receiver in the league. You know, or second best.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting. You know, when you're looking at your NFC list there, you've got Dak to CD. That's interesting. Kirk used to throw it at JJ. But then Kyler Murray, who knows? Marvin Harris Jr. could be on this list going on next year.
And you thought I should have replaced with the guy possibly who throws to Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, or the guy who
Right.
threw to Cooper Kupp in Matthew Stafford. So it's kind of they go hand in hand, I guess.
Yeah, no, those teams, they've got a good going into 2024. That's pretty exciting. And next year, maybe JJ McCarthy, JJ to JJ can be on that double Mount Rushmore list.
Yeah, there's like a cheesy video, JJ McCarthy coming into our stadium, and our announcer, like our radio announcer, Paul Allen, came out and said, he's like, oh, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to go, oh, JJ to JJ for a payday, touchdown. And I was like,
Ooh,
oh,
that's
pretty
sweet.
slick.
JJ to JJ for a payday.
It's slick, but it's also cheesy as hell. Like, that's
Hey,
just
cheese
ultimate
sells.
cheese.
Everybody loves cheese.
I love it.
It
I love
makes
it.
it memorable. That's for sure.
I love that he's already got it planned out, Anyways, okay.
Yeah,
That is my list.
AFC.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it. AFC wide receiver. Who's on the Mount Rushmore list? Like you, there was some difficulty looking at this. So who knows? Maybe controversy. I bet you there will be some people who disagree. And remember, if you do, let us know in the comments. If you agree, let us know in the comments. Let's have a conversation. AFC first wide receiver that I'd like to put on the Mount Rushmore of today's NFL. Well, we're going Tyreek Hill. We can't deny the cheetah. Yes, another year under his belts, and yes, he went down in quarterback play when he went to Miami and played with Tua, but he's still producing. Coach Mike McDaniels is doing what he needs to get Tyreek in position, get open, get into space, and just turn on the jets. We'll see. We thought he was going to hit 2,000 yards last year, and he got close. Not as close as he would have liked. So I know he's out for that mark this year. And let's see. That would be exciting to see a 2,000-yard receiver.
It would be. It'd be very.
Number 2, JJ's old running mate. Let's go Jamar Chase.
Yep.
He's one of the top guys when he's healthy and on the field, and I think with T. Higgins' uncertain future, they're definitely going to start scheming more for Jamar, even more than they already do. But they're going to get him involved in that offense just in case. They got to build the future for that team, right? And T. Higgins is going to be a great complementary piece. Jamar Chase is the next on Mount Rushmore. Next, now, this is tough because you think about going into next season, but this guy has been an absolute stud on the last 2 teams that he has played for. Last being the Buffalo Bills, and then before that, he played for your Minnesota Vikings. But we're putting Stephon Diggs into the Mount Rushmore for the AFC wide receivers. He does it every year. Fantasy purposes, it's hit or miss, but he doesn't show up some games. But honestly, like, he's always over 1,000, over 1,100 yards receiving. He's up in that 100 catch territory. I don't know what more you want from your WR1. This guy always going to be playing at a high level, and him going in there and not seeing double teams because they've got Tank Dell, they've got Nico Collins as well, but CJ Stroud, I'm an up and comer. He's gonna want to throw the ball to Stephon Diggs. Yeah. He's been dreaming about one of these superstar wide receivers. It's gonna happen. They traded for him for a reason, and it's just gonna propel that Houston Texans offense. Very exciting to see. I was actually gonna think that they were a contender for that opening game against KC. Eventually went to the Baltimore Ravens because Lamar versus Mahomes. Huge. Everybody loves that. Then Davante Adams.
Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, Quentin Johnston. He has been as good as they come since being the first season, but being a second round pick for the Green Bay Packers and playing with Aaron Rodgers. Lights out all the time. Double-digit catches, over 100 yards a game is not unheard of or unlikely for Davante Adams. And He's got an unknown QB situation going on with the Raiders there. Gardner Minshew's probably going to take the reins. At least that's who I'd put in the driving seat. And just throw it to Devontae Adams. Yeah, you've got Jacoby Myers there as a good complementary piece as well in your wide receiver too. But Devontae Adams gets his. And I feel like there's absolutely no controversy when it comes to wide receiver choice for the AFC going into 2024. Yes, you could argue, is D-Hop one of them? DeAndre Hopkins. Nico Collins had a great year last year, but you got to keep going. You got to be consistent. Amari Cooper was somebody I was also thinking about. Garrett Wilson potentially, but he's got to prove it as well with Aaron Rodgers. Jalen Waddle was another potential pick. Those both wide receivers in Miami. But no, none of them good enough to dethrone any of these four when it comes to the AFC Mount Rushmore of wide receivers. What do you think?
I like it. I noticed your guys are aging out a lot more than mine are. Especially if I didn't put Cooper Kupp and I put Puka Nacua, let's say. The NFC's got a very young, very good core of wide receivers compared to your quarterback situation, right?
Yes, it's almost like the opposites when it comes to the quarterback and wide receiver situation in the AFC and NFC. I wouldn't say polar opposites, but there is that variance.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder if CeeDee Lamb is the reason for Dak's success. I'm wondering if Justin Jefferson is the reason for Kirk Cousins' success. Whereas I'm not sitting there thinking, I wonder if Patrick Mahomes needs good receiver. No, he has dog shit receivers and he crushes it. So it's not the same. Like, was it Diggs that gave success to Josh Allen? That's remained that is we're waiting to see. But it's not. Lamar Jackson as well. Is his success? It's not dependent on anyone else but himself. So these guys. These quarterbacks are self-made, is what it seems. Whereas the quarterbacks in the NFC, maybe they need these top wide receivers, It's
right,
kind of
even
cool
Justin
thing.
Herbert, like he didn't need what Joe Burrow needed in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah, you just had Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. You know what? How are you saying that Joe Burrow had a better...
Brandon, we need to move on to the next segment of this.
We didn't even talk about this. Herbert had an excellent situation.
Herbert had an excellent situation, just not a good coaching staff around him. Anyway, we're going to move on here. This is our playing field now, Brandon. When we look at these 16 players, 8 for each of the wide receivers and for the quarterbacks, let's build Mount Rushmore for these two position groups in the NFL today, 2024 season upon us.
Okay.
Do this. We're going to do it live right now, okay? We're going to do it live. We're going to rock, paper, scissors, and we're going to go pick by pick. So we are both going to build this out. And let's see if we're in agreement.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to be close.
Yeah, I think so too.
We're ready? We're going to go.
Okay. Are we doing
rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
We're doing the shoot?
I'm not going to say shoot, but that's when we throw.
That's when we do it? Okay. I'm not really a shoot guy. Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot. I can't see your hands. Are you cheating? Okay. Get your hands up here. I can't see that.
Okay, ready? Rock,
paper, scissors,
shoot.
Oh, we're way off, but it works, I think. Okay.
Well, I was matching you on the stream, so I don't know how delayed it might be.
Yeah,
but
it was
won.
delayed. It looked like you did paper so long after I did scissors. Okay. So I'm first. So what am I doing? I'm just choosing anybody?
You're doing quarterbacks. You got to look at the Mount Rushmore from both AFC and NFC. These are your choices, not anybody else that we were talking about controversy who should have been in there. So Kyler Murray is in the running for NFL Mount Rushmore. Who are you taking in the NFL Mount Rushmore?
Okay, well, obviously I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, right? But...
No buts. That's who you're taking.
No.
No. You said obviously, so it's already there.
Ugh.
Patrick Mahomes. You get another pick, Brandon. Don't worry. This is, of course, going to be the pick.
Okay.
Number 2 in NFL Mount Rushmore QB. I gotta stick with two-time MVP in Lamar Jackson.
Very fair.
I feel like he is absolutely the second best quarterback. At least he's top 4, but I could make the argument for second best.
As you can see, I have Jalen Hurts copied and Jalen Hurts pasted over here.
Jalen Hurts.
I think he's the best of these 4, and there ain't no way there's no NFC, right? Like, I like Josh Allen and Diggs, but these are my 2. Like, we've had many conversations this offseason about how low we are on the Bills. I know Diggs is no longer on the Bills, but we were very low on the Bills coming into this year. So Josh Allen, meh,
All right. Yeah, no, I hear you. Jalen Hurts there. So there is going to be an NFC representative.
Yes.
I think that had to play into this a little bit. I'm looking at the AFC.
I think that's deserving.
Okay. Hey, absolutely. I could make an argument, but I won't.
I didn't
but
put
now
any
the question
Kyler
becomes,
Murray in there.
Does Dak Prescott, is he better than Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow? Is he better than Josh Allen? No, Dak Prescott is not. Kirk Cousins, is he better going into 2024 than Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow or Josh Allen? No, I don't believe so. Is Kyler Murray better than Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow? No. Is Kyler Murray better than Josh Allen? No. So then it does become the question of Josh Allen or Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow.
Incoming Homer pick.
There is not going to be an incoming Homer pick. I am sorry, Chargers fans. Absolutely do I believe in Justin Herbert. But I do think we need to see how the wide receiver room shakes out, how Harbaugh is going to be building this team. And it's going to take some time. So I do believe that there will be a path where Justin Herbert does jump Josh Allen in the Mount Rushmore for the QBs of the NFL, but that is not this year. And there we have it. We have the 4 QBs in Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen, in no particular order, representing the Mount Rushmore of the NFL in 2024.
I wonder if...
Well, you got...
Sorry?
You go ahead.
I was just saying, I wonder if we looked up, like, top quarterbacks. If this could easily be the top 4.
Absolutely.
This could easily be the top 4. You know, maybe
Yep,
people have
and
Joe
I think
in
going
there.
into 2024, this would also be the order. If we had to put an order on it, I think Josh Allen does fall slightly. Normally, I think Josh Allen would be rated ahead of Jalen Hurts just because of the continuity and the experience. So we definitely know that Josh Allen can do it year in and year out. Jalen Hurts, he had one great year and then one good first half,
Yes.
above average first half, and then dog.
Yes.
Not DAWG, back half, and then no show in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, yes, I would agree. I think these are the top 4 in many experts' eyes and fans' eyes, I bet. But you guys let us know. How wrong is Brandon for having to put an NFC representative in there instead of including Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Only time will tell. But wide receiver, moving there, I will start because you started with quarterback. So I'm going to take the easy pick. It makes it so good. It's so good. All right? It's so good. And we are going to go... Sure. We are going to go with Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, the one and only.
I think he is the best wide receiver in the NFL. I think all the teams who passed on him in 2020 that we're looking at wide receiver, especially. They missed out on an amazing talent, and let's see. He's going to be such an asset for JJ McCarthy to develop in this NFL and work under that Kevin O'Connell system.
Mm.
It's great. Now pay him. What are you doing? Why are you not paying Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
Like, why are you waiting? What is going on right now? This is leaking way too far into the season. I don't know what the Vikings are doing, but apparently they've got it on lock. Do they?
Yeah, I've seen a couple things. He's not going anywhere, right? Like, he's not leaving.
Well, yeah, he's not
They're
going
gonna pay
anywhere
him.
right now, but he's about to get pretty upset thinking that he's going to be playing this year without a contract.
No,
Then
they
he's
won't
going
do
to just
that.
he's going to pull a Randy Moss and leave. You want to leave another Randy Moss
No,
out
they
there?
won't do that. No, they
Well,
won't
you
do
better
that.
hope not. You guys got to pay him.
They won't do that.
All right, we'll see. Who is the next wide receiver that's going to be joining Justin Jefferson on Mount Rushmore?
And what if it's this guy? No, it's definitely Tyreek, right? Like who? It's definitely Tyreek. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. The guy is. How do I get rid of that? There you go. Tyreek is the man. Whew, he's so good. I think he's 30 now, though. Maybe turning
Right.
31 this year. I'm not sure.
30 and still the fastest wide receiver in the NFL. It's
Yeah, definitely the
crazy.
fastest with pads on, right? Like his game speed is crazy. So he is easily on this list. He's easily top 4. I don't think that anybody would debate that. So that's where we are there. That's my guy. I got nothing left to say about Tyreek except for he's great.
That's great. That's fantastic. Now, I'm juggling right now between a few. This is tough. This is definitely tougher than the quarterback conversation. And thinking about 2024 and what you are going to be doing this next year, I think with Michael Gallup leaving, with no real offensive line that has been proven yet because of all the pieces that have gone, because of your top running back being Ezekiel Elliott coming back in his old age, and Dak Prescott, I've already shown that I'm not the highest on him, but he can get you the ball. And because the only option, maybe second year tight end and Jake Ferguson shows up there, but not a lot of competition going to be happening. Long-winded explanation, but C.D. Lamb is going to be the next wide receiver on the Mount Rushmore of today's NFL.
Ooh. This makes it interesting because I got 5 dudes left to choose. I'm
I'm looking at 2 right now, and I want to make a more controversial pick, and I might give away who I'm thinking of, but I think it's really down to 2 for me going into 2024.
Yeah, okay, so it's definitely not Cup. It's definitely not Cup. He was a controversial pick of my NFC side. He was the one who could be subbed out with guys like
We are in agreement. It's not Cooper
average
Kupp.
Joe Brown. Also, we've talked about Diggs. Diggs doesn't show up in the second half of the last 2 seasons. Like he just
Right?
disappeared. Man,
Okay, we're on the same page still.
Jamar hurt all the time. Maybe kind of hurt all the time. I feel like I never know if he's hurt or not. It's just like
I
he
think
might
that's a
play, he might not.
fantasy bias, is
It could
Jamar
be.
being hurt
It
all the
could be.
time.
Maybe this is a bias because this is my guy. You know,
Right.
we each have a Bengal player that we kind of have this competition with in our
Yes, we
heads.
do.
So Jamar's out.
Jamar's out. Okay, so you've got it down to Devontae Adams
Adams.
and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
If it's who's going to have better stats, it's got to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like Devontae Adams has no quarterback with a possibly garbage coach. It's really hard to tell. Even last year, he was like, we just
Right.
got to get the ball in his hands. and they never did. Like, they still didn't do it, but maybe that's because Aiden O'Connell is not a good quarterback, maybe. I like Devontae Adams. I like him a lot more now, too, right? He's not in our division. Amon-Ra St. Brown
he's in mine.
Yeah, but he doesn't cook anybody anymore. He's got, like, some spectacular plays every once in a while, but he just hasn't had the quarterback play since he's been there.
Raiders fans, attack.
Well, it's true. They should agree with me. This guy
Okay, so have
better.
you made your decision? Because it sounds like you've made your decision. You're just hating on the fact that he's in the NFC North.
I think it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. This guy is too good, right? Like, he's it, right? Like,
hey, that's who I was thinking when I was saying controversial pick. But my debate was between him and Jamar Chase. But hey, yeah, Devontae Adams is definitely up there. I don't know why. I think it's the age for me.
Yeah, there's a hesitation there. There's a hesitation on a pick like that, but am I just thinking 100%. Too much of the history?
Okay.
Amon-Ra St. Brown could be like, he may not even have broken out. He's kind of that guy that could be much better next year too, That's the feeling you get with that guy. You're not really feeling the same, like, oh, Diggs is going to pop off this year. It's going to be his year. It's like, nah, he's already had his year. Same with D. Adams, right?
Yep. Hey, and I had to put his name up there full. I got to give him the respect. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is on the NFL Mount Rushmore for today's NFL 2024. There we have it. Quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen. Wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are, by position, today's NFL Mount Rushmore. And I don't think there can be a lot of debate when we look at this list. Of course, you can debate us. Have the conversation. Let us know in the chat. This was tough, and I think the wide receivers was a tougher position to pick up.
Yeah, the quarterbacks, man, like there's the top, and then there's the guys that are trying to get there for sure. Whereas receivers, like there's obviously a top, but there's guys that are borderline. They're borderline in that category.
Borderline, and another year of production.
Anything can happen.
And we're about to see.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you're with us, thank you so much. We do appreciate you spending your time with us. Please hit the subscribe button, the like, the notification bell. It does help the channel out, and it shows us that you wanna chat NFL, you wanna chat football with us, and it's coming down to the wire. We're getting into training camp, just done rookie mini camp. We're getting into the fantasy football season, and Brandon, you mentioned we're going to get into that. We're going to do some mock drafts. We're going to talk strategy, PPR, non-PPR, all the sorts. And again, we have something cooking for a fun little fantasy football game throughout the entire season. Let's go. Football's on its way.
Man, it feels like it's closer because of these rookie mini camps. The draft is over. It feels like, oh shit, it's around the corner. Man, I don't know how many days. I'm going to start seeing some counters, like some countdowns soon.
Yes, you are.
It's like
those jersey number countdowns.
Yeah, exactly. They're so fun, but it's going to be a long time, man. Like, what we got 3-4 months still. Oh,
it's fine. It'll come. We're going to be making content. You'll be here getting entertained for the football season, before this football season, with the BuiBros Football Podcast. Brandon, send us off.
Okay. We mentioned a lot of the stuff already. We just want to say, share this with people, Give us a like if you liked it. If you didn't, tell us how we can improve. We want to have some feedback in even if it's constructive. We want to know we can do better. We want to be as fun and as good at this as we can, especially if we're going to be doing it week in, week out. So let us know what you think. We definitely welcome the constructive criticism, as I mentioned. So Quinn said it before, but I'll say it again. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification. It really does help us. We want to branch out. We want to have people experience the BuiBro experience. So please share. We really appreciate it. And that's it for us today. So thank you for coming. And Quinn, you send us off with the last thing.
The Skol Bolts.
The
Skol Bolts, everyone.
Till next time. Skol Bolts, everybody. Yeah. Have a good one.